My name is Edouard Verté. I'm a CEO and co-founder of Diamanti Pertutti, which brings affordable diamond jewelry from Antwerp. Aside from this, I'm also actively investing in lifestyle brands. In 2015, we did a management buy-in in Wouters & Hendricks, one of our leading jewelry brands. 2018, we invested in Suivre, which is a multi-brand fashion retail chain with an own brand called Collectors Club. In 2020, we invested in Kai Bags, which brings functional designer handbags from Antwerp. During those investments, and even more so probably in those that failed before, we learned the hard way that it's really essential to understand and to respect the emotions of the seller, especially when you're dealing with founders, because in the end, they are selling their baby to you. If you're facing that, I would give you a couple of advices. The first one being that it's really important to understand from the outset what drives the founders and what could be very sensitive to them. So what areas you want to be very careful when dealing with it. It can be financial, and it will often be financial, of course, but it can also be their salary, for instance, going forward. It could be some key personnel with whom they've been working for a very long time. So you need to understand and deal with that throughout the entire process in a very sensitive and diplomatic way. The second advice I'd like to give is that, of course, you will want to convince the founders that their company will be in good hands with you and that you can add value, especially if you're teaming up together and that you will be partners. You are there normally not only to add money, but also to make the company grow because you know certain things they may not know. You can help them accelerate things. You will always have to do so in a very respectful way. If you explain what you want to change, you don't want to tell them that what they've done before was wrong, that they mismanaged the company, that they didn't do well. So always be very respectful for what they've done before, because basically it was their pride and what they were responsible for. A third advice I'd like to share is that it's very important that you convince the sellers that you will respect their legacy. And that has often to do with the first one I gave, where you understand what is driving them, what is sensitive to them. You really need to convince them that their baby will be in good hands with you. A fourth advice is to be patient. You cannot rush things, you cannot force things, and sometimes it may take really a long time. With Wouters & Hendricks, between the first meeting we had with the two founders and the signing, it took us 2 years. And in the midst of that, they even told us no. They kicked us out of the room. They told us that they didn't want to do a deal with us, that they didn't accept our terms. And yet we could turn a no into a yes because we had listened well to what drove them, what is important to them, and worked our way around it. So that was very satisfying, obviously. And I think really the fact that we were patient, took our time, and didn't simply say, okay, if you don't want us, we move away, means that now we're very proud owners and co-owners of this company. So in short, I think my main advice is really, if you want to convince a seller that you're the right party to sell to, it's not only about money, it's also about respecting their emotions, understanding them, and convincing them, as I said before, that their baby will be in good hands with you.